Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are LA.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday night to you, wherever you may be. Game 2 of the 3-game series. Dodgers winning last night, and they've certainly made it a habit of beating Pittsburgh, especially here at Dodger Stadium. They have now beaten them 17 out of 21 and 15 of the last 17. Tonight, you'd figure they have a good shot. They're sending Clayton Kershaw to the mound. He was 1-0 against the Pirates last year, 1-1 lifetime. However, standing in his way on the mound, A.J. Burnett, who won 16 games last year for a Pirate ball club that finished under 500. Of course, no surprise, he's a fine pitcher. He won 18 games a few years ago with the Toronto Blue Jays. And like last night, the Dodgers saw Jonathan Sanchez, who pitched a no-hitter against San Diego. Guess what? A.J. Burnett has a no-hitter in his dossier, and that's also against San Diego. So, the Dodgers and the Bucks pull up a chair. Good ball game coming up, and we'll be back right after this. Brought to you by the Hyundai Let's Go sales event now through April 30th. By AT&T, Rethink Possible. And by Jack in the Box. Come in today. try the hot mess burger.
The sun has dipped just below the rim of the stadium, turning a warm day into a cool night at 66 degrees at Chavez Ravine. It's the Dodgers and the Pirates. Dodgers won it last night behind Zach Greinke, and his debut performance, 3-0. It wasn't even the best pitching performance of the year because that belonged to Clayton Kershaw on opening day. Clayton Kershaw, 20 of 30 batters on opening day, first pitch strikes.
Yeah, and you know, Greinke proved it last night. He wasn't particularly sharp on the corners, but he pounded the strike zone with strikes. He just kept throwing a ton of strikes. Kershaw does that same thing. He can be very economical against an offense like the Pirates have right now. He can get a lot of swings and misses. Should have an excellent day out there. Keep in mind that Clint Barmas, their number 8 hitter, is the only hitter in the lineup that actually has a hit against a left-handed pitcher so far this season.
All right, so can Kershaw match opening day?
I don't see any reason why. He can go out throwing a no-hitter every time he steps out there.
Maybe minus the home run. Maybe leave that up to Andre Ethier and Matt Kemp. Andre Gonzalez and all the rest. Dodgers and the Pirates, enjoy it.
Dodger Stadium on a beautiful Saturday night. The Dodgers taking the field to get into Game 2 of the 3-game series. Tomorrow afternoon will conclude a brief homestand. Dodgers then go on to San Diego and Arizona, but they'll be right back here starting on the 15th against San Diego. So we can take a look now at the visiting Pirate lineup. Starling Marte in left field and Neil Walker at second base. Andrew McCutchen in center field. Gabby Sanchez at first base. Former Dodger and old pal Russell Martin behind the plate. Pedro Alvarez at third. Jose Tabata is in right field. Clint Barmas at short, and A.J. Burnett on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw. Almost enough said just to ring out the name as he prepares to try to match that incredible game he had against the Giants, winning it with his first career home run. The first ball pitch is spanked into center. It'll drop in front of Matt Kemp, and Starling Marte opens up with a base hit to center field. We can take a look at the Dodgers defensively, and they shape up this way. Gonzalez and Ellis, Sellers and Cruz, Crawford, Kemp, and Ethier. A.J. Ellis behind the plate. The temperature at the start of the game, 66 degrees. Hardly a zephyr of a breeze. And stepping in now is Neil Walker. Most of the left-hand hitters from last night are out of the lineup, but Walker is a switch hitter, so he just turns around to bat right-handed. So Neil Walker hitless in his last 9 at bats, but a good ball player. Fine second baseman. Bunt sharply to third, picked up there, and the throw to first in time by Cruz. Walker, of course, was bunting for a base hit, second man up in the first inning, and he did a great job. And Cruz does a good job to get him. So Marte is in scoring position on the bunt, and with 1 out, here's the number 1 man, Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen hitting .357 in his career against Kershaw. Came in second, and a close second he was, to Buster Posey last year. Runs exceptionally well. He has 4 stolen bases, although the Dodgers did nail him last night. So Andrew McCutchen with a runner at second and 1 out. Out of a stretch goes Kershaw. Fastball hit to short. They have a play at third. And coming over and tagged out is Marte. Bad play. But of course, Adrian Gonzalez made the same play last night. You never try to advance with a ball hit in front of you, and Sellers just nailed him easily. 6-5. Interesting, in talking to Clint Hurdle before the ball game, and we were talking about Carl Crawford not knowing the count, being tagged out standing up last night, and Gonzalez violating the principle, and Clint was saying it really is shocking when you see veteran ball players do that. But Marte, not that he's a veteran, again breaks a big rule. And with 2 down, McCutchen is at first and a threat to steal. And the batter is Gabby Sanchez. Right-hand hitter, bends at the knees and waist. And a throw to first to keep an eye on McCutchen. Though McCutchen stolen the base in 3 of the first 4 games. And a threat to run. Kershaw out of a stretch, a look over at him. Now the pitch of the plate, fastball in there at the knees for a strike, 0-1. So Gabby Sanchez, 1 for 10. Last night when they have the left-handers in there, Garrett Jones plays first. So we have 2 down, first inning, no score. McCutchen at first, holding, and the pitch of the plate blocked by Ellis, and it was in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Interesting, the maturation process of Clayton Kershaw. In his first 66 starts in the big leagues, he could never get through a game without issuing a walk. Well, in his last 84 starts, he's had 16 games where he did not walk a batter. Clayton out of a stretch, another look over at McCutchen, and he goes over there. Among other things, Clayton Kershaw has done a very good job in controlling base runners. 41 successful, 39 caught, and he's picked off 37. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on, hit in the air to right, backing up into the sun, now coming back in the shade is Ethier, and that's the inning. So no runs, a leadoff hit, bad base running play by Marte, and at the end of half an inning, no score. Clayton Kershaw dispatched them with only 6 pitches. And we go to the bottom of the first, and here's the Dodger lineup. Carl Crawford in left field and Mark Ellis at second base. Matt Kemp in center field. Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Andre Ethier in right field. A.J. Ellis behind the plate. Luis Cruz, who made a good play on Walker's bunt, is at third base batting 7th. Justin Sellers at shortstop, and Clayton Kershaw on the mound. On the mound for Pittsburgh, A.J. Burnett. He's a big boy, 6'4", 230. About 35 years old, out of North Little Rock, Arkansas. He was originally drafted by the Mets in the 8th round, and he has played primarily with the Marlins, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Pirates. He won 18 games for the Blue Jays in 2008. He won 16 games last year for a Pirate ball club that was under 500. So you know he can pitch. And the Dodgers now will face him with Carl Crawford to lead it off. So Crawford, Mark Ellis, and then Matt Kemp. Crawford 0 for 4 last night to slow him down a little bit. A.J. Burnett ready, fastball off the plate, 1 ball and no strikes. Jerry Davis is the plate umpire, and Jerry with 29 years in the big leagues calling balls and strikes. A.J. rocks and turns. The 1-0 pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, fouled away, and the count 1-1. So Carl Crawford that has enjoyed this homestand so far, 5 for 13, a double and a couple of runs scored, and hitting .444 against right-handers. Well, he's facing a good one. Burnett rocks and delivers the pitch low and inside. Crawford showing bunt, and it goes all the way to the backstop. So they count 2 balls and 1 strike. A.J. Burnett, way back in 1998, led the entire minor leagues. He was averaging, if you can imagine, over 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. And he does, well, maybe he does, he used to label his bats with the names of some of his favorite rock bands. Marilyn Manson, Chemical Brothers, Kid Rock, whatever. So the bats came without any name on them. And being a musician in his own right, he plays the acoustic guitar. And they tell me he's also a good graphic design artist. Well, anyway, he puts rock bands on his bats. Maybe when he comes up to hit, we'll see if that keeps going. Meanwhile, 2-1 the count to Carl Crawford. Burnett ready, again showing bunt. Crawford takes low, ball 3, 3-1 the count. Carl Crawford out of Houston, Texas, lives over in Scottsdale. Drafted by the Devil Rays out of high school. And the 3-1 pitch coming up, and Crawford takes very high, ball 4. And that, of course, will put some heat on Burnett, because Crawford has been a very successful base stealer. He has stolen as many as 60, 59, 55. So he will merit a great deal of watching as Burnett prepares now to work to Mark Ellis. So the Dodgers get a base runner. A.J. Burnett right now out of a stretch from the first base side of the rubber. Crawford takes his lead and waits. Out of a stretch goes Burnett. Mark Ellis waiting, and the right-hander's pitch is taken for a strike, and the count 0-1. Carl Crawford, who got the walk, had 18 hits over in the American League against Burnett, including a home run. Mark Ellis has 8 hits against him, hitting about .260. So they're keeping an eye on Crawford, as you would imagine. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Burnett looks down the barrel to get a sign from Russell Martin. Now the veteran right-hander, set high up around the collarbone, came late to first. He had caught Crawford leaning, and had it been a good throw down towards the bag, they might have picked Carl off. No balls and 1 strike the count. Burnett out of a stretch. Crawford takes his lead. The pitch at the plate is taken for a strike, and the count 0-2. When A.J. Burnett pitched his no-hitter against San Diego, he had to be doing a high wire act, maybe a high wire act in a windstorm, because he walked 9, but he struck out 7, and he pitched the no-hitter. Strike 2 pitch coming up to Mark Ellis. Crawford holding at first, and the pitch fouled back to the screen. Don't forget tomorrow, Jeff Locke going for the Pirates, Ryu for the Dodgers, and then the Dodgers move on to San Diego and Arizona. By the way, with the Dodgers playing Pittsburgh, this is a rather perfect note to talk about. Not during a pitch. We'll wait. Here's the strike 2 pitch. Instead, throw to first, and Carl Crawford back on the bag. Do you collect baseball cards? Did you? Do you? And I'm sure if you do or did, you have 1 or 2 that you really treasure. Here's the strike 2 pitch to Mark Ellis. There goes Crawford. The pitch is low and there's no throw. Carl had a good jump and steal second, and Martin had to just take a bite out of it, as they say, and hold the ball. So Carl Crawford picks up a stolen base, and the Dodgers now have a runner in scoring position. Nobody out. Crawford taking his lead. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Mark Ellis. A.J. Burnett staring in. We're just started. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Burnett ready, and the right-hander deals down and away. Just quickly, talking about baseball cards, maybe you would think, wow, a Babe Ruth card, that would be the most popular card, or a Ty Cobb. Today, the Honus Wagner card sold, are you ready, for $2,100,000. $2,100,000 for a little picture of Honus Wagner. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and down goes Mark Ellis. So that will bring up Matt Kemp. We'll take a look at the Bucks now defensively. Sanchez and Walker, Barmes and Alvarez, Marte, and then McCutchen and Tabitha, with Martin behind the plate, Burnett on the hill. Honus Wagner played 21 years for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He won 8 batting titles. He retired in 1917. His career batting average was .328. And you know what his career was worth? All of his salaries, $138,000. But his car goes for $2.1 million today. Matt Kemp waiting, takes a look at a pitch off the plate, ball 1. Juan Endo. Matt last night was allowed to swing on a 3-0 pitch and hit a lazy fly ball to right field. Then he grounded out, so he was in a struggle. And then in the 6th inning last night, doubled to right center to drive in a run. He has always worn out the Pirates. Burnett a full turn to make Crawford go back to the bag. Kemp, however, has only had 2 at-bats against A.J. Burnett, and he is 0 for 2. 1 ball and no strikes. Burnett out of his stretch, looks at Crawford, comes back to Kemp, breaking ball strike, 1-1. For Carl Crawford to be going and steal second without even a throw, you have to understand that Burnett in his career has allowed 273 stolen bases. Last year, 38 stolen bases and 2 caught. The year before, 31 stolen bases, and so it goes. So you certainly can run on A.J. Burnett, and despite that glaring flaw, he's won as many as 18 in the big leagues. Burnett being very deliberate, making Matt Kemp hang at the plate. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's low, ball 2, 2-1 the count. Last year, when he won 16, he was ahead of the hitters. Successful pitchers live that way. Among other things, right-hand batters hit only .245 against him last year. On deck, the left-hand hitting Adrian Gonzalez. So Crawford at second, 1 out, first inning, no score. Burnett ready, turns but doesn't throw. Walker came to the bag to handle just in case. So Carl Crawford walks, steals second without a throw. Matt Kemp trying to pick him up. For the Pirates, they have lost 2 in a row. They lost to the Cubs coming here, and then they lost yesterday. But more than that, they've lost 7 straight here at Dodger Stadium. 2-1 the count to Matt Kemp. Burnett very deliberate. Back he comes. Fastball fouled at the plate. 2-2. It would appear he's throwing hard enough. And of course, at this hour, at 6:26, the lights are not taking effect. So it's a little tough, you would think, to see the baseball. Not for major league hitters, I guess. Normal night games at 7:10, so we're off and running a little early. Crawford taking his lead. Walker with a right-hand batter trying to bird dog him a little at the bag. And the pitch to Kemp is swung on and fouled away. So a big battle here with A.J. Burnett going head-to-head with Matt Kemp. When you look at A.J. Burnett, basically you know you're going to get a very good fastball. It's been clocked as high as 97. And then a big show curveball. But he also has a knuckle curve, or a spiked curve, some call it, and a straight change. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way to Matt Kemp. Burnett delivers, and it is swung on and missed, and down goes Kemp. So Burnett strikes out 2. Crawford holding at second, and now Adrian Gonzalez coming up. The one thing left-handed batters did not do against Burnett last year, they didn't pull the ball as much as the year before. However, you have a hitter like Gonzalez, and you never can tell, as a discouraged Kemp goes back in the dugout. Adrian can go to left field, or as he did last night, pulled one into the right field corner. Meanwhile, Crawford still at second with 2 out. Burnett delivers, and a fastball in for a strike. 0-1. As far as Adrian Gonzalez is concerned against Burnett, 1 for 8. Burnett out of a stretch. A look back at Crawford. No score. First inning, 2 out. And Gonzalez swings, fouls it back. And the count 0-2. Dodgers and Bucks. It had really been Dodger time, especially here at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers have won 15 of the last 17 from Pittsburgh, 21 of the last 25, and for good measure 7 straight, and Zach Greinke nailed them last night. 0-2 the count to Adrian Gonzalez. Burnett ready, and it is swung on and missed, and down goes Gonzalez. So what does he do? A.J. Burnett, he walks the leadoff hitter and strikes out the side. Messrs. Ellis, Kemp, and Gonzalez bite the dust. At the end of an inning, no score. Crawford gives up a stolen base and then strikes out Ellis, Kemp, and Gonzalez on 19 pitches. So now Clayton Kershaw will be pitching to Russell Martin, Pedro Alvarez, and Jose Tabata. The Dodger offense has been less than glistening, and if you've been watching or listening, you can understand the pitch to Martin, a strike, by leaving Crawford in scoring position. The Dodgers in the early going with the Giants and Pirates are now 4 for 35 with runners in scoring position. Martin fouls it off. 0-2 the count. So Carl Crawford walked, stole second easily, and they just plain left him. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Into the windup goes Kershaw, comes back with a fastball very high. 1-2 the count. One-two pitch to Russell Martin. Big breaking ball, low and inside, winds up at his feet. 2-2 the count. Kershaw both feet on the rubber. Martin waiting. Top of the second inning, no score. Clayton ready, and here he comes and gets it a little low. 3-2 the count. Russell Martin hungry to get aboard and get something started. He's had a slow start. He's 0 for 12 with a couple of walks. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball hit to short. Sellers to his left. Gobbles it up. High throw. Toe dance by Adrian Gonzalez. And we have one away in the second inning. Well, the big story before the ball game, the announcement that likable Aaron Harang has been traded to the Colorado Rockies. The Dodgers get a veteran catcher, Ramon Hernandez, and we certainly wish Aaron Harang the best. As you know, the Dodgers pretty much felt that they had a surplus of pitching, and so they made the deal. At one time, and this is kind of interesting, as the pitch to Alvarez is swung on and missed, and the count 0-1, Aaron Harang and Ramon Hernandez were battery mates for the Cincinnati Reds back in 2009 and 10. Hernandez is from Caracas and lives in Miami. The next pitch to Alvarez swung on and missed. 0-2. Pedro put on a little bit of a clinic last night at third base. He made some dazzling plays. The left-hand hitter waiting. No balls and 2 strikes. Kershaw ready. Fast one just off the corner. And he was throwing at 94. Can you imagine you're up there, the lights are not taking effect. There's a few light clouds like gauze, and the rest is blue, and you're looking at 94-mile-an-hour fastballs. He looks at another one, and down he goes. So Alvarez caught looking, or caught hearing, perhaps, is the proper way. The fastball right down the pipe, and Alvarez just walks away. So Kershaw picks up a strikeout. Last time up, he struck out 7 Giants. And now Jose Tabata. Tabata, playing right field, appeared as a pinch hitter last night. Hit the ball pretty hard, lined out to right field. He has a big swing and a miss, in the count 0-1. T-A-B-A-T-A. 0 for 5 in the young year. Takes a strike. The Kershaw now with a count of 0-2. No score, top of the second. Kershaw into the windup. Here he comes, very high and away. And a 1-2 count to Jose Tabata. Tabata is from Venezuela and was originally signed by the Yankees. Grew up a big fan of Roberto Clemente. The next one is low and inside. 2-2. The crowd wants every pitch to be a strike. 2-2. Tabata waiting, right-hand batter. Kershaw ready, comes back and ties him up on a half swing to strike 3, and that's that. So down go the Bucks. 2 strikeouts in the inning. At the end of an inning and a half, no score. No score, bottom of the second inning. A reminder, Monday the 15th, the first 40,000 fans in attendance at Dodger Stadium receive a Jackie Robinson, Don Newcombe, and Roy Campanella statue presented by the film 42 in theaters April 12th. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Clayton Kershaw made 15 pitches, and he was 0-2 on all 3 hitters there in the second inning. Meanwhile, A.J. Burnett certainly no slouch. He struck out all 3 in the first inning after walking Crawford, and he'll be tested now by Andre Ethier. Burnett into the windup. A.J. deals, gets a strike, and the count 0-1. Andre Ethier hitting .400. That translates 2 for 5 in the past against Burnett. A.J. from the first base side of the rubber looks down to Martin, rocks and ready, and the pitch to Ethier is taken on the outside corner for a strike. The Pirates load up the right side, so all alone halfway between second and third would be third baseman Pedro Alvarez. The outfield, however, plays straight away, and the strike 2 pitch swung on and foul back. 0-2. Yeah, it's commonplace to see teams load up one side or the other. It made headlines back about 1941 when Ted Williams was setting the American League on fire. They really loaded up on him. The pitch to Ethier inside, and those who were around tell me that Ted Williams' ego was such where he could easily have hit a ball the other way and get a base hit to left field. Darned if he didn't always try to find a hole in the loaded side. The 1-2 pitch is fouled away, so Andre is still there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dodgers and Bucks, game 2 of the 3-game series. The Bucks stop here, but not for long. They'll play tomorrow afternoon at 1:10 and then move on. Burnett rocks, ready, comes back, and it's swung on and fouled away. I'm trying to remember when I first saw the trend, but I can't remember. But when I first started, every pitcher went into a windup. And as the years went by, the windup disappeared. Now they kind of turn and then make the pitch. Burnett's fastball on the hands, pulled down the third, back, recovered the feed to Burnett in time for the out. So Gabby Sanchez kept the ball in front of him, and Ethier grounds out. one away here in the second inning.
Catcher number 17, A.J. Allen.
A.J. Burnett, the stats on him, he's 36, played for 4 teams, had a no-hitter with Florida against San Diego. But you know what? I think one of the more interesting stories about A.J. Burnett was quite a few years ago here in Los Angeles. He was with Florida, and he came to the ballpark with an injured hand. A.J. ready, and the pitch at the plate, that's in for a strike, and the count 0-1. What happened was he explained that he had dropped a hot iron on his pitching hand while ironing. And everybody said, well, that can happen. The best of homemakers. The strike one pitch is in there. But then he said he was ironing his jeans, and that got everybody's attention. Ironing your jeans. 0-2. Burnett ready. A.J. delivers in the dirt. Blocked by Martin. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. John Bowles, who was then his manager, said, jeans? I don't think I've ever ironed my jeans. But to each his own. I mean, I thought jeans was to give you a really relaxed attitude, a really relaxed look. But to iron them, that's more like being a West Point cadet. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming up. Burnett delivers, little roller up along third, charging, picking it up as Alvarez was a good arm and throws him out. So 2 down in the second inning, and another good third baseman with a good arm, Luis Cruz, will be coming up. Oh, there are all kinds of freak injuries. I mean, you talk about A.J. Burnett blistering his hand with the iron. Remember Adam Eaton, the pitcher with San Diego? He stabbed himself in the stomach while trying to open up one of those, what do they call them, jewel cases that hold the CDs and DVDs? Yeah. Yep. Stuck himself. Well, here's Cruz. And fastball in for a strike. 0-1. Guys have gotten injured, and here they are worth millions of dollars in the prime of their health. They've spent all spring getting shaped up, and then they hurt their backs putting on their socks. The pitch away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Burnett looks down the barrel, reading Russell Martin. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on, foul back to the top of the screen, kicks over into the second deck. Now that has to be a pretty good fastball, and sure enough, it was clocked at 94. And I still say, and I'm not trying to take any credit away from the pitchers, it has to be dynamite up there trying to hit 94-mile-an-hour fastballs at this time of day. The 1-2 pitch. Burnett deals low. On his knees is Martin. No swing. And the count 2-2. Burnett has made 35 pitches. One reason he made 19 in the first inning when he struck out the side and walked a batter. A.J. very deliberate on the first base side of the rubber. Cruz ready. And Burnett delivers and just misses outside. So it runs the count all the way. 3-2 to Luis Cruz with Justin Sellers on deck. Burnett into the windup, and the 3-2 pitch is a half swing and a little foul over the backstop screen back into the crowd. Cruz just trying to time that thing and catch up to it. So Luis back up to the plate. 2 out, bottom of the second inning, no score. Martin sits on the outside part of the plate. 3-2 pitch is swung on and hit to deep right center field. However, it's playable in this big ballpark, and McCutchen goes back to make the catch. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3, and at the end of 2, no score. with Clayton Kershaw, and it'll be Barmes, then Burnett, and Marte. As we go to the top of the third inning, no score. Clint Barmes. They spent about 8 years with Clint Hurdle in Colorado, and now they join up again in Pittsburgh. Talking about injuries, remember what happened to Clint Barmes in Colorado? Right-hand hitting shortstop waits. Kershaw delivers high, ball one. Todd Helton was a very good pal of Clint Barmes. Helton had gone deer hunting and had come back with a lot of meat. The 1-0 pitch to Barmes, low ball two, and Helton, being a good guy and Barmes' buddy, so Todd loaded him up with a lot of beef. And he went home with it, tripped and fell, hurt his shoulder, and was sidelined for quite a while. The 2-0 pitch on the way, and that's taken for a strike. 2-1. Clint Barmes from Vincennes, Indiana, went to school at Indiana State. Had a bad year last year, but perked up for the last 2 months. He swings and hits it foul out of play. Clint Barmes on the last day of June last year was hitting 198, or as some baseball people call it, the interstate. But then the last 2 months he hit 269. So he's trying to bring that stroke into the early going this year. Kershaw ready. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, high fly ball, left field. Crawford going back, still on the grass, and makes the catch 1 foot on the track. So Clint Barmes, fly ball to left field, and now A.J. Burnett coming. A.J. Burnett 0 for 2 in his previous start against the Cubs, struck out twice. He does give you a nice strike zone. He's 6'4". Kershaw ready. Fastball drilled in there for a strike. 0-1. No score. Top of the third inning. Kershaw right back again. A high fastball. He's throwing at 92 and 93. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Clayton turns, and the talented left-hander's next pitch is chopped to third. Luis Cruz, plenty of time, throws out Burnett. So we have 2 down in the third inning. And Starling Marte, who was not Sterling in the first inning. He had single, bunted over to second, and on a ground ball hit to short, it was right in front of him. He still tried to come over to third, and they hung him out to dry easily. So Marte checking in. 2 out, third inning, no score. Kershaw ready, deals, fastball strike. Both pitchers are doing very well in getting that first pitch in for a strike. Strike 1 pitch to Marte is taken off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Marte had a good spring, which is why he's in the starting lineup. The 1-1 pitch golfed at and missed. That was down around the ankles, and he tried to go after it. 1-2 the count. Starling Marte. Right-hand batter in and out of the box. Kershaw, both feet on the rubber, ready to come after him again, and a breaking ball down for ball 3. So check the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Marte from the Dominican, and he tries to lift another low pitch almost in the dirt, and Ellis throws him out at first base. So Kershaw picks up his 3rd strikeout, and at the end of 2.5 innings, no score. Kershaw has made 34 pitches in the first 3 innings. You might want to match that to the first 3 innings that he had against the San Francisco Giants. He made 38 pitches in the first 3. So he's a little bit ahead of that gem as we go to the bottom of the 3rd, and he'll be trying to do some hitting. But first of all, it'll be Justin Sellers. Justin Sellers made a couple of fine defensive plays, which is why he's in there. He's 0 for 9, but he's got a big glove, and he'll start it off against A.J. Burnett. A.J. ready, delivers in there for a strike, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Sellers staring in, Burnett doing the same to Russell Martin. And the strike 1 pitch, and that's a little off the plate. He's not missing by much, and he's throwing at 92. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Sellers last year, remember, made an unbelievable catch of a foul ball crashing into the box seats. Paid the price. Was on the DL for 112 games. He hits a fastball in the air to center. A touch and going back, but still has plenty of room, and makes the catch for the out. So Justin Sellers, a lazy fly ball to center. And now Clayton Kershaw, who did not hit a lazy fly ball to center, as you may remember. We're all talking about the fact we've seen pitchers hit home runs to left and to right and to left center and occasionally right center, but it is the rare pitcher who's going to hit a home run over the center field fence. And to further illustrate the point, we talked about 2 years ago, the pitch to Clayton in for a strike. 2 years ago, counting all the fine hitters that played in Dodger Stadium, there were only 10 home runs hit over the center field fence. Strike 1 pitch is swung on, fouled away, 0-2. Take a look if you're watching on TV, of course. Clayton got a fastball above the belt and was carried on the warm afternoon sunshine to get him that big home run. First career. Strike 2 pitch swung on, hit him near the right field, backtracking a little bit is Tabata, and makes the catch. So Crawford certainly puts the coming up. Walked in the first inning as Kershaw jogs back to the dugout. 2 out. That's 8 in a row retired by A.J. Burnett since he walked Crawford. 9 in a row retired by Kershaw since he led off Marte with a single. All right, here's Crawford, left-hand hitter, takes ball 1. Crawford walked, stole second, and the Dodgers left him. Messrs. Kemp and Gonzalez striking out. The 1-0 pitch on the way to Carl, and Crawford starts to pull the trigger, thinks better of it, and pays a strike, and the count 1-1. Burnett pitching very well, but then again, no surprise. Through the years, April has been his best month. He is 21-12. The next one low, so a winning percentage of .636 through April. A.J. Burnett. Big boy out of Arkansas, locked in with Kershaw, no score. Here's the 2-1 pitch coming up to Carl Crawford, and that's a line drive, a backhanded short hop, and no further play, and Crawford is aboard with a base hit. Clint Barmes diving to his right, could not catch the sinking line drive. He had to short hop it, and of course on his side he had no chance to make the play. So Crawford, line drive single to short, and now let's see if they try to run Crawford again. We told you how vulnerable A.J. Burnett is. So Barmes couldn't make the play, certainly gave it his best shot. Mark Ellis struck out in the first inning. So we'll see if Crawford tries to go. It's a good spot, of course. You run Crawford. If he doesn't make it, you begin the next inning with your number 2 hitter. So if he sees an opening, you can bet he'll try to go. The first pitch to Mark Ellis. Whoops, there he goes. And a breaking ball is down there late, and Crawford beats the throw. Though he was fortunate, he didn't get a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. It was an 84-mile-an-hour breaking ball, and that took the advantage Crawford over Russell Martin. You're so fortunate when you're trying to steal a base on the pitch selection. I mean, ideally, you'd love to have a straight change or a knuckleball. But that was a breaking ball down, and Crawford steals easily on it. So now Mark Ellis trying to pick him up. 1 ball and no strikes. And fastball whips in nicely. 1-1. Ellis struck out in the first inning. Came into the game hitting .258 against Burnett. 2 out, no score, third inning. The pitch to Mark Ellis taken high and inside. 2-1 to count. The pitch count starting to pile up a little bit now on Burnett. 51 pitches. Now the right-hander ready. Crawford takes his lead. The pitch to Ellis in there. 2-2. One of the pitches that A.J. Burnett throws, a spiked curve, which really means your index finger and the nail is stuck into the ball. His grandfather taught him that pitch when he was just in high school. 2-2 the count. Burnett ready. Here he comes. Fastball on the hands. Pulled foul. Pretty good. You turn on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball that's inside anyway. And he was still able to turn on it and pull it foul. Matt Kemp waiting on deck. No score in the third. The Dodgers and the Pirates. Pirates here tomorrow. Ryu and Locke. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner at second. And the pitch to Mark Ellis turns him around. Almost hit him, but did not. And a good save by Russell Martin. It's one thing to turn and get away, but it also makes the catcher labor. And Russell Martin did a great job to reach out and one-hand that fastball that almost undressed Mark Ellis. 3-2, and Matt Kemp waiting, and Burnett knows it. So Martin settling back in a crouch. Burnett zeroing in on the pitch. And Mark Ellis waiting. 3-2. Crawford at second with 2 out. Fastball pulled to the hole. Through in the left field base hit. Here comes Crawford. Marte's throw not in time. Holding at first is Mark Ellis. And the Dodgers lead 1-0. So Mark Ellis got a fastball out over the plate. Just did squeeze it at shortstop by the diving Clint Barmes. Marte made a good strong throw, but Crawford, as you know, runs very well and brought the run in. So it is 1-0 Dodgers, and here's Matt Kemp. The difference in the inning, of course, that diving try by Clint Barmes to catch Crawford's sinking line drive in the air. He couldn't do it. Crawford immediately stole second, and the run is in. So for Burnett, who is so easy to run on, he has paid the price. And now Kemp, and a throw to first, and we'll see about Mark Ellis now, whether Ellis will try. The Bucks tighten up on the left side. Neil Walker, the second baseman, way over to his right to fill up the middle, but they do not load up the left. The pitch by Burnett is golfed at and missed. 0-1 the count to Matt Kemp. Kemp, 1 hit, 15 at bats, hitting .067. Waiting on deck, Adrian Gonzalez. Both Kemp and Gonzalez bit the dust on strikeouts in the first inning. Throw to first. Mark Ellis back on the bag. Burnett, the veteran, 36 years old, huddling now with Russell Martin. So you have a lot of baseball games meeting out there when Martin and Burnett get together, and Matt Kemp just has to wait. Carl Crawford's speed pays off. He has a walk, 2 stolen bases, and a run scored on that base hit by Mark Ellis. 1-0 Dodgers in the third. Kemp waiting, 0-1 the count. Burnett ready, comes back to Matt. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. No swing, says Dan Iasonia. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. We'll repeat, in case you weren't with us earlier in the game, the Dodgers traded Aaron Harang to Colorado for a veteran catcher, Ramon Hernandez. And Colorado said they made the deal in order to trade Harang. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Burnett delivers, fastball in there, 1-2. So Matt Kemp struggling at the outset. They all do somewhere along the line. 1-2 to Kemp. A.J. Burnett ready to go. There goes Ellis. The 1-2 pitch is low. A backhanded effort by Martin fails. The ball goes to the backstop, and Mark Ellis stops at second. Martin, of course, was trying to backhand, short hop it, and make a play, and he had no chance. And he's fortunate that Ellis was able to just stop at second. So the Dodgers are running on Burnett, and that is not news. Not to Clint Hurdle, and not to anybody in the league. They have 3 stolen bases in 2 2/3 innings. Two and two. Matt waiting for a pitch, hoping to get one that he can drill. Burnett looks back at Ellis, now to the plate, and it's swung on and fouled away upstairs, second level. Again, Russell Martin out to the mound to talk to Burnett. If you add it up now, in his career, he has given up 275 stolen bases. So that is surely a weakness that has truly been exploited by the opposition. A.J. right foot on the rubber. Mark Ellis away from second. And the 2-2 pitch coming up to Matt Kemp is taken. Strike 3 call. It was an off-speed pitch at first, it seemed like, but then it had a lot of giddy-up at the end, and Kemp is fooled. Dodgers get one and lead 1-0. Crawford, an infield single, stole second, his second stolen base. Mark Ellis singled him in, and he stole second. So with the stolen base, and the Dodgers have 3 of them, they're putting some heat on Burnett. Pablo Sandoval, the Panda who played so well here, played again well at home in San Francisco. Not enough, however. The Giants lost to the Cardinals 6-3, despite Sandoval going 2 for 4 with a home run. Paul Goldschmidt, with Arizona racking up 9 to lead Milwaukee 9-2. Goldschmidt just recently signed a long contract with Arizona. He had 2 RBIs and a home run. And then a sad note, especially, well, at any time, but early in the year, John Lackey hurt his arm today. We have no further report. Slow curveball that was bending in there, all of 71 miles an hour. So Neil Walker backs out. 0-2 the count. The strike 2 pitch drops it low. If you're keeping track of numbers, A.J. Burnett made 23 pitches in the 3rd inning, and that gives him 61. That's way too many pitches in 3 innings. Even in the middle of the year, you figure a starter might go 125 pitches, maybe. Curveball comebacker. Well, that'll do it for Neil. 1 away in the 4th. 3, 6, 9, 10 in a row now retired by Clayton Kershaw. Andrew McCutchen reached on a fielder's choice, hit the ball to short. Marte tried to go from second to third. They nailed him. So McCutchen 0 for 1. Wonderful all-around player. And ball 1. We're talking about the fact his dad is a pastor in a non-denominational church, and he sings in the choir. Ball 2. 2-0. And then Andrew McCutchen's mom, Katrina, sang the national anthem last year in Pittsburgh before the game with the Diamondbacks. And he hits a ball foul. 2-1 the count. McCutchen has it all. He had 31 home runs last year, stole 20 bases, had 96 RBIs, and wound up behind Buster Posey. 2-1. He's not a big man at all. 5'10", about 180 pounds. Boy, can he play. Just inside. Clayton Kershaw, believe it or not, was the blocking back in high school for Matthew Stafford, the quarterback for the Detroit Lions. And a strike. Come back, Andrew. 3-2. McCutchen was a wide receiver. Injured his knee in the open field on a rainy night as a sophomore, and that taught him might as well stay with baseball. He was only hitting .507. Check swing. He is done. 4 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw, but more than that, he's now retired 11 in a row. Breaking ball fell way out of the strike zone. Now with 2 out, here's Gabby Sanchez. Off the plate, ball 1. Gabby Sanchez is from Miami, Florida. The Marlins signed him out of the University of Miami, and he came up to the Marlins back in 2008, and he was with them into last year when the Pirates got him. Gabby now has the count his way, 3-0. With the Marlins, he had back-to-back years with 19 home runs. and he's big enough to hit him. He's 6'1", 225. 3-0. Strike. 3-1. .48 pitches so far for Clayton, leading 1-0. In there again. 3-2. Sanchez trying to think along with Kershaw. He was a business management major at the University of Miami. 3-2. Got him again. Another out recorded. 5 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw. He has now retired 12 in a row, and at the end of 3.5 innings, 1-0 Dodgers. It's time for our prime ticket Twitter poll. Now, in addition to Matt Kemp, what 2 other outfielders would fill out your fantasy National League outfield? There they are: Ryan Braun, Andrew McCutchen, Bryce Harper, Giancarlo Stanton. Tweet hashtag Braun, Kutch, Harper, Stanton. And we'll see. Keep tuning in. We'll look at the results later on. Who would you want to be out there flanking Matt Kemp? Yeah, he would certainly be the #1 fella to talk about, I'm sure. But the big problem is he plays center field too. In the 4th, Clayton Kershaw made 16 pitches, so he has now made a total of 50 pitches. And Adrian Gonzalez leads off. They stack the deck on the right side. 1 ball and no strikes to Adrian Gonzalez. I mean, you would think if he was just able to bunt it up along third base, they couldn't make a play. Off speed for a strike. 1-1. That pitch dropping down to 81 miles an hour. Dodger run. Crawford singled, stole second, came home on a base hit by Mark Ellis. And that's it. We're in the bottom of the 4th. 1-1. Ball 2. 2-1 to count. A.J. Burnett, as you can tell, is heavily tattooed. He has a symbol for Pisces, the zodiac sign, for his 2 sons. That's on his back. In spring training with the Yankees, they were asking him, well, how many tattoos do you have? He said, I think 12. Three and one. Check swing. They're going to look. No swing. Ball 4. Now Gonzalez, running at first base, figures not to put too much pressure on A.J. Burnett. Although Adrian Gonzalez did have 2 stolen bases last year for the Dodgers. He had 1 in 2011 and he had 1 in 2009. So he's had 4 stolen bases in 10 years. But they're going to hold a corner on him, even with a left-hand hitter up. On 1 to Adrian. Grounded out. I mean, you know as well as I know that the Bucks know that Gonzalez doesn't run well. I mean, 4 stolen bases in 10 years. And with a left-hand hitter up, it's a little surprising, I would think, that Sanchez is on the bag. Fouled away, 0-2. I mean, Crawford has stolen 2 bases. Mark Ellis has stolen 1. But it's hard to believe the Pirates are afraid Adrian Gonzalez is going to steal 1. 0-2. And a line drive base hit down the right field line. Gonzalez looks and he is held. He's a station-to-station runner. So a walk and a single. First and second, nobody out. And A.J. Ellis coming up. So the Dodgers now 1 run on 3 hits. The Pirates no runs, 1 hit. A.J. Ellis grounded to third in the second inning, 0 for 1. 2 on, nobody out, and the question for the Bucks, would the Dodgers have A.J. Ellis bunting? Well, the corners are up, and now Pedro Alvarez backs up at third base. However, Sanchez very wide of the bag, but actually in front of the runner at first. A.J.'s not bunting. Hard ground ball to Alvarez. Down to second. Walker's going to turn it to first. So the Dodgers continue to spin their wheels with runners in scoring position. So A.J. Ellis hits into the double play. 5-4-3. Gonzalez is now at third. And the batter is Luis Cruz, who flied to center. The Dodgers so far in this homestand, the last time we looked at it, they were 4 for 35 with runners in scoring position. Now it's a little worse than that. The Dodgers are 5 for 38 with runners in scoring position. Wow. So here is Cruz trying to pick up Gonzalez. 0-1 to count. In the inning, Gonzalez walks. Ethier singles him to second. A.J. Ellis hits into the double play. And Cruz now trying to pick up Gonzalez from third. 0-1. Fastball hit late and foul. Good location. 0-2. So A.J. Burnett working hard, but also trying to get out of a jam. His pitch count, and that's very, very important, up to 72, and we're only in the 4th inning. Nice save by Russell Martin. 1-2 the count. If he joined us late, the Dodger run, line drive, a diving try to catch it, and it was short hopped by Clint Barnes, who couldn't make a play. The line drive off the bat of Carl Crawford, who then stole second, and Mark Ellis singled him in, and that's it. 1-2 the count to Luis Cruz. Little slider, check swing, strike 3, and the Dodgers leave another man in scoring position. So they're 5 for 39, and at the end of 4, lead 1-0. Say, friends, a reminder, Wednesday, April 17th, the first 50,000 fans at the game with the Padres will receive their own Dodger-themed Hello Kitty fleece blanket. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Well, Clayton Kershaw, I'm not quite sure who's more frustrated, Don Mattingly with the opportunities to score, or Clint Hurdle with what his hitters are going through. For this reason, the Pirate hitters have had 14 3-ball counts, 14 of them, and they're 1 for 13 with 1 walk. That walk last night to Russell Martin. A shot to third, Cruz up with it and makes his play on Martin. So 1 out in the 5th inning. And the batter, Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez, and I don't mean to say he's that much of a disappointment, but he was a first-round pick 5 years ago, and they're really waiting for him to do what they know he can do. Hitting just 125. Late on a fastball. The Red Sox actually chose him in the 14th round, but he passed on that to accept a scholarship to Vanderbilt University. He made a big decision, breaking ball off the plate. By taking the scholarship, he turned down a $775,000 bonus offer from Boston. Now, he and his family lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, and his father drove a livery cab, and still he opted to go to school. And of course, people in the neighborhood up there around Washington Heights, they thought that his father was crazy for turning down all that money. Washington Heights has produced people like Rod Carew, Manny Ramirez. That's a little low, 2-2. If you wonder what a livery cab is, it's kind of a community-based, non-regulated black sedan. It picks up passengers only for prearranged rides. I know a couple of times going back to New York, we used them by Shea Stadium. Bad ball. Pedro chases. 6 strikeouts now for Clayton Kershaw, who is now retired 14 in a row. However, he didn't get the leadoff man. Starling Marte single to open up the game, and that's it. That's been the offense. So with 2 out in the 5th inning, Jose Tabata coming up. And a little foul ball down the line. It will drop untouched. No balls and 1 strike to count. Tabata going back to the plate. We were talking a little bit about A.J. Burnett and his tattoos. Tabata has a tattoo on the left side of his chest. It's an image of Roberto, and a Spanish inscription above it reads, "For my father." Well, he's not related, but he just loved Clemente. Fouled away. In fact, there was a paternal relationship in the sense his dad worshipped Clemente as well. He signed with the Yankees at the tender age of 16. 0-2. Fastball away. Still throwing pretty hard, 91. One ball and 2 strikes. Fastball away, 2-2. Check swing, gonna be a strike. 7 strikeouts for Clayton Kershaw, who is now retired, 15 in a row, and the Dodgers still lead 1-0. Locke and Ryu. Dodgers then go down to San Diego for 3, over to Arizona for 3, and then come home and play San Diego. Then they go east, going to play in Baltimore and with the New York Mets. Then they'll be opening up at home at the very end of April with Colorado. They'll have the Giants. Don't make your plans. We'll be looking forward to having you out here. Dodgers, meanwhile, in a tough one. A.J. Burnett, who figured to be tough, losing 1-0. And he'll be facing Justin Sellers, then Clayton Kershaw, and Carl Crawford. Sellers fly ball to center, 0 for 1. And ball one. 1-0 to Justin. In there for a strike. 1-1. A.J. Burnett had his club shut out when he faced Chicago, and he's had the club shut out so far tonight. The Bucks have had one man get on base. That was Marte, who was cut down trying to go from second to third on a ground ball to short. After that, 15 in a row retired. Sellers, after a pitch in the dirt, and pays the price. Burnett is certainly no lightweight out there on the mound. He knows how to pitch. That's his 6th strikeout. It's early, but even so, it's fun to see how they are positioning. No surprise that Arizona is playing well. Colorado was a surprise. Start off 3 out of 4. The Giants, the Dodgers jockeying for position. San Diego is going to have to go to the whip soon, and they might do it when the Dodgers go down there. Ball one to Kershaw. Clayton flied to right field in the 3rd inning. Two and 0 the count. Burnett is due to bat second in the 6th inning. And you see his pitch counts up to 80. That's fouled off to the left, out of play. 2-1 the count. Kershaw last at bat hit the ball hard, but right at the right fielder Tabata. 2-1. Ball 3. Burnett is 36 years old, and after 82 pitches, I have a feeling he's starting to feel that. 3-1. And a strike. 3-2. Burnett walked Carl Crawford, who's in the on-deck circle, and then he walked Adrian Gonzalez. 3-2. Well, Burnett is still throwing hard enough at 91 after 84 pitches. Three and 2. And he walked in. That's the 3rd walk given up by A.J. Burnett. And that'll bring up Carl Crawford.
Carl Crawford.
So he has struck out 6, walked 3. He has walked Crawford once. 1 out. Kershaw standing on the bag. Gabby Sanchez right near the bag. Meanwhile, there's going to be a meeting at the mound. You know, Carl Crawford is waiting patiently at the plate while the meeting goes on. Back in May of 2009, he stole 6 bases against Boston, tying for the most in a game by one player, since Otis Nixon and Eric Young Sr. also did it. By the way, the Rays won that game 5-3. Catcher Jason Varitek was the victim of all 6, and Brad Penny was on the mound for the first 4. So Crawford has one problem now. He has Clayton Kershaw on the base path. And ball 1. They don't expect Kershaw to do any running, so Sanchez is behind him. 1 ball and no strikes. And a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1-0. favor the Dodgers. Bottom of the 5th. One and two. Burnett has always had the reputation of being a battler. Tough guy on and off the field. As we said, he's won as many as 18 and even 16 last year with a Pirate team that was under 500. That's quite an accomplishment. Still alive, 1 and 2. One run, all of 3 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, all of 1 hit for the Pirates. Oh, breaking ball really fools him, and down he goes. That's 7 strikeouts for Burnett. I mean, you have 2 pitchers turning in a beautifully pitched game. Curveball in the dirt. Crawford couldn't come close to it. So A.J. Burnett has struck out 7, but he's losing 1-0, and he's due to bat second in the 6th inning. Mark Ellis drove in the only run. Mark had struck out, but then in the 3rd inning, Crawford single stole second, and Mark Ellis singled him home, and that's it. 0-1. Fastball flared down the right field line, slicing foul and uncatchable. Tabata certainly gave it his best shot. So Jose going back to work. No play, Jose, but he wasn't going to quit on it. So Clayton Kershaw going back to stand at first. Tabata back to his position in right field. And Ellis back up to the plate, 0-2. Slider in there, strike 3 called, and that was almost a bow to the pitcher. Great pitch, and it's still 1-0 Dodgers. Celebrating their championship last year on this weekend, which reminds us, on this day in 1982, the Dodgers were celebrating their championship of 1981. And that was really a remarkable team when you realize at one stage they were behind in the playoffs, no games to 2. Then the next championship level, the league championship series, they were down 1-2. And in the World Series against the Yankees, they were 0-2 and still wound up winning it. What a memorable club was 1981. Let's go back to this one. Well, we've reached the 6th inning. Clint Barmes will start it off against Clayton Kershaw. Barmes flied to left field, 0 for 1. That's right. For A.J. Burnett, by the way, he made 19 pitches, and his pitch count is now up to 93, and there's no way you're going to get him out of this game. Not down 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Clint hitting 200 in the early going. Chopper foul, 1-2. Kershaw, if you weren't with us in the first inning, gave up a single to Starling Marte. Little fly ball dunker into center. They bunted him over to second base. McCutchen hit a ground ball to short. Sellers threw to Cruz, and Marte was out trying to move over. And that's the last sound by the Pirate offense. That is strikeout number 8 for Clayton Kershaw. He is now retired 16 in a row. Be sure to bring the kids to Dodger Stadium tomorrow. Dodgers and Bucks, and the first 15,000 ticketed kids 14 and under in attendance receive their own Matt Kemp replica jersey. Compliments of Dreyer's Grand Ice Cream. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion. Well, we couldn't tell if we could take a close-up, and I don't know if you can do it, with A.J. Burnett's bat. We'll see if there is indeed a rock band name on it. 0-2. Let's see. Well, there's something on there. That's too hard to read. It all started when he got a shipment of bats one year, and there was no name on it. So he had some rock band name put on it. Band or no band. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's not a bad idea when you're facing Kershaw to have an anonymous bat. So 9 strikeouts. 17 in a row retired. AJ was shut out last time against the Cubs. So you know how frustrating he is. And here's Marte. Single, struck out. Ball 1. Not everybody has struck out. Russell Martin has 2 ground balls. And Neil Walker has grounded twice. So 17 in a row for Clayton. The bunt, 1 ball and 1 strike. He's in the 6th inning with 71 pitches and 2 out. So at that rate, averaging about 12 pitches an inning. 108. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slow and high. 72-mile-an-hour straight change. In his game against the Giants, he made 94 pitches. 2-1. Curveball, or at least it looked like from up here that it was breaking, but it stayed up. Looked like a bad ball for Marte. man. Ground ball up the middle. Backhanded by Mark Ellis. Safe at first. So Starling Marte, who runs well. Ellis made a good play going deep to his right. Off balance throw. He couldn't get a lot on it. But even so, Marte, a right-handed batter. But when you look up, he was there. And first base umpire Dan Iasanya making the call. No arguments. Kershaw just kind of shocked over the play. Boy, Marte really flying down the line. Now Marte is 2 for 3 tonight. Here's Neil Walker. Had him picked off, but he just did get back under the tag. He was leaning. Show you how tough things have been for the Pirates up to the moment anyway. Doesn't look distressed. Big grin on his face. Marte's the only Pirate to reach second base in the series, and that was in the first inning tonight. A fake by Kershaw off the rubber. Neil Walker sacrificed it back to the box. Switch hitter, batting right-handed. A little early in the year to figure out really what he's doing. He was 0 for 5 coming in right-handed and 2 for 9 left-handed. He is a very good all-around second baseman. Neil Walker. Marte, coming into the series, did not have a stolen base. 1-0. Ball 2. 2 down. Kershaw had retired 17 in a row, striking out 9. And then Marte had the infield single. Waiting on deck, of course, is Mr. Trouble, Andrew McCutchen. Popped in the air, foul, and out of play. 2-1. McCutchen has been on a fielder's choice and struck out, but he is certainly one dangerous hitter, hitting in the third spot for the Pirates. However, it's up to Walker to save him a lick. Fastball in on the hands. That was 92, so Clayton is not slowing up and off after 78 pitches. One nothing Dodgers. 2 outs, 6th inning. Kershaw and Burnett. The only Dodger run, the only run in the game. Crawford's infield single, stole second. Mark Ellis singled him home, and that's it. 2-2. And a high fly ball. Kemp going back to get it. And that'll be that. So no runs, an infield single, a man left. And again to 5½. 1-0 Dodgers. still holding on to that 1-0 lead. Remember our Twitter poll question about if you have Matt Kemp, who are the other two outfielders amongst Braun, McCutchen, Harper, and Stanton? And as you can see, the early results show you that Harper would then be followed by McCutchen, then Stanton, and then Braun. Meanwhile, Clayton Kershaw made 17 pitches in the 6th inning. He's now made 79 pitches in the game. He's had 17 swings and misses, besides striking out 9, and at one stage he retired 17 in a row. However, a long way before this is settled, and the Dodgers now will have Kemp, Gonzalez, and Ethier against a bulldog out there, A.J. Burnett. 0-1. Matt Kemp struck out in the first, struck out in the third. Kemp against Burnett in his career 0 for 4, striking out all 4 times. One and one. Back in 2008, when he was with the Blue Jays, A.J. Burnett struck out 211 batters. With the Yankees in 2010, he struck out 204. So he can really bring it. 1-1. Slider, 1-2. Burnett now 96 pitches. And swung on and fouled at the plate. The mat's still there. Dodger run, the only run in the game, way back in the 3rd inning. One and two the count. Slider. So Matt Kemp strikes out 3 times. That's also the 3rd consecutive strikeout for A.J. Burnett. He's no slouch. He has struck out 9. So we've had 18 strikeouts in the game, 9 for each pitcher. That is really a duel. So 1 out. Adrian Gonzalez struck out and walked. They load him up. Fouled away. 0-1 the count. Of course, when you load up the right side on Gonzalez, I remember when he was San Diego, he would wear you out like Tony Gwynn, going the other way with base hits and home runs. No balls and 1 strike. Pulled that one. 0-2 the count. When he was with Boston, he had 27 home runs, and then last year he had 15 before coming here. And I'm sure many of those home runs were heading towards the Green Monster. 0-2. One and two. Well, Burnett now has gone over the 100-pitch mark, so they're going to get somebody up. Jared Hughes. There's Jared. We figured 100 pitches would be about enough for Burnett. And he's pulled that low pitch into right field for the base hit. So Gonzalez waited until he got the pitch he wanted, singles to right, and the batter is Andre Ethier. So A.J. Burnett really matching Clayton Kershaw. In fact, don't you feel that Burnett has the tougher job pitching to the Dodgers than Kershaw has pitching to the Pirates? It would seem that way. Ethier is grounded out, single to right, 1 for 2. Clayton resting, taking it all in. Oh, and 1. Andre guessing fastball, and it was a little less than the best fastball. He's been throwing 92. That came up there around 88, 87. So he was out in front of it. 0 and 1. One ball and 1 strike. Russell Martin doing a terrific job behind the plate. It hadn't been easy, even though Burnett has had good control. Russell's had some very tough pitches to handle, but of course he's always been able to do that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off speed. That was 82 miles an hour. 1 out, 6th inning, 1-0 Dodgers. We told you that Kershaw has had 17 swings and misses. Burnett's not too shabby. He's had 14 swings and misses. Make it 15. 2 and 2. Second start of the year. Burnett has now reached 106 pitches, and he has 1 out in the 6th, losing 1-0. In the dirt. Another nice block by Russell Martin. 3 and 2. Waiting on deck, hitting behind Ethier, A.J. Ellis. Ethier grounded out and single to right sharply in the 4th inning. With a full count, 1 out, Adrian Gonzalez has a 4-foot lead over there at first base. There he goes. And the breaking ball is ball 4. Ethier hesitated there for a minute. So first and second, that would be the 4th walk given up. And now here's Clint Hurdle. I think the pitch count has just about done him in. Jared Hughes throwing in the bullpen. 108 pitches for A.J. Burnett. Let's watch Clint. He gets there, pats him on the back, and sends him out. And we'll be back.
Yeah, that's it. Keep that up. Hit the road, Jack, and don't come.
A.J. Burnett, 108 pitches, and as we said, it's no doubt tougher for Burnett to pitch against the Dodgers than Kershaw to pitch against Pittsburgh. When you match them up, each man had 9 strikeouts. Burnett walked 4, so if you add the 16 pitches, that was a big difference between the two. And the Dodgers now trying to score against Jared Hughes. 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers. Hughes is a big man. I mean, he is a very big man. He is 6'7", 245 pounds, standing on that 10-inch mound. 1 out. A.J. Ellis has grounded to third and hit into a double play. Now, Jared Hughes was born in Stamford, Connecticut, but he lives in Culver City. We have a local boy out there. Fastball strike. Hughes said that he attended about 10 Dodger games every year while growing up. Graduate of Santa Margarita High School in Laguna Beach. Oh, and 1. Fastball sliced away. 0-2. Jared Hughes, about 11 years ago, after junior high, pitched for Team USA against Japan in the Goodwill game. He'll be 28 on the 4th of July. Basically, fastball, curveball, slider, and change. 0-2. In the dirt, another good save by Russell Martin. Jared's father, to make it his grandfather, played baseball at the University of North Carolina and did play a little while in the Dodger organization. He is basically a sinker ball pitcher, one after the other. Sinker, chopper to the hole, base hit to left field. What will they do? They will stop Gonzalez. So A.J. Ellis lifts the sinker, singles to left, and the bases are loaded with 1 out for Luis Cruz. So A.J. Burnett, who pitched a tremendous game into the 6th inning, and of course now 2 of those runners are his responsibility. Jared Hughes facing Luis Cruz, who has flied to center and struck out. Hughes and the Bucks, of course, are looking for a sinker and a double play. Jared Hughes, a local boy who eventually went to school at Long Beach State, and he was a teammate of Troy Tulowitzki and Evan Longoria. Sinker too low. 1 ball and no strikes. I think there were a few critics saying he was a one-trick pony, just throwing one sinker after another, but he said, that's my out pitch. That's my bread and butter pitch. That's the pitch I stay with. So we'll see what he does here. Gonzalez, Ethier, and Ellis out there, and it's popped in the air, foul, doubtful play, and it's going to wind up in the first row behind the Dodger dugout. 1-1 to count to Luis Cruz. Clayton Kershaw has had to pitch as well as ever to stay barely ahead of A.J. Burnett. 1-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 6th. 1 out. Slider off the plate, no swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Another check with Tim Wallach. Gonzalez at third, Ethier at second, A.J. Ellis at first. 2 balls and 1 strike, 1 out. sinker low and possibly a throw, but Martin dropped the ball. So now Hughes is in a jam. 3-1. One out, bases loaded. Hughes in his third game, and waiting on deck, Justin Sellers. And a high fly ball into shallow left field. Barnes goes out, one-hands it, and looking at the umpires, I didn't see an infield fly rule called. You know, there is that one little line about a reasonable expectancy to make the catch. So there was no infield fly rule, and Cruz pops up. And now Justin Sellers. So the Dodgers, who were at one time 5 for 39 this year with runners in scoring position, are faced with another bleak proposition. 2 out, bases loaded, bottom of the 6th. They are now 6 for 41 with runners in scoring position. Sellers has flied to center and struck out. Ball 1. Interesting to see a sinker baller come in with the bases loaded and get a big out on a pop fly into shallow left field. 1-1. Justin Sellers coming into the game 0 for 9, so he's now 0 for 11, and you can imagine he can taste the pressure now. Of course, Matt Kemp can take him over in a corner and console him. 1-1 to Justin Sellers. In the dirt, another backhanded save. Russell Martin, like a goalie on a bad hockey team, has made a lot of saves. Take a look at this one. Dangerous that Russell would do that. Instead of shifting his body, he backhands it, crossing his chest. That's a dangerous way to catch. There was only one catcher I ever saw who made that look easy, and I think he led all the other catchers down the primrose path. That was Johnny Bench. So a lot of catchers picked up some bad habits from John. But as long as you get away with it, okay. All right, 2-1 the count. Garrett Hughes came in, gave up a single to A.J. Ellis. Got Cruz to pop up, talking to himself a little bit. And A.J. Burnett watching carefully. Oh, another bad pitch and another save by Martin. That could have been to the screen. So it's a moment of truth now. Watch Martin again. But boy, that is a risky way to catch. Three and one. Ground ball to third. They will get the force play, and the Dodgers come up empty. An nerve-wracking moment for A.J. Burnett at the end of 6, 1-0 Dodgers. Is brought to you by your Southern California Kia retailers. Visit mysocalkia.com. By AT&T Uverse. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. And by Time Warner. Enjoy all the things you love better. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC. We go to the seventh inning here at Dodger Stadium. It's still 1-0 Dodgers. It's been that way since the third inning. But for the Dodgers, it's written out there for their frustration and anguish. They are 6 for 42 with runners in scoring position in 5 games. That gives them a batting average of 143. Meanwhile, Andrew McCutchen, and all Mattingly can do is stand and watch. That's a strike. McCutchen reached on a fielder's choice and struck out. Andrew is 0 for 2. The number 1 hitter certainly in the Pirate lineup. 1 ball, 1 strike. High bouncer picked off nicely. You have a gold glove out there, you know, with Clayton Kershaw. And he just showed it.
First baseman, number 14, Gabby Sanchez.
1 out in the 7th inning. And McCutchen is denied. Gabby Sanchez flied to right and struck out. At one stage, Kershaw retired 17 in a row, and he has struck out 9. A.J. Burnett was absolutely brilliant. He also struck out 9. But he gave up that 1 run, the sinking line drive, the diving short hop attempt by Barnes, then the stolen base, which has always been his Achilles tendon or heel. And it's 1-0 Dodgers. 2-0. Kershaw had his string broken up. The infield single by Starling Marte. That's a strike. 2-1 on Gabby. That was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball after 85 pitches. Three and 1. Tomorrow at 1:10, Hyun-Jin Ryu against Jeff Locke. Fastball whacked foul. Three and 2 the count to Sanchez. And lifted back to first down the line, slicing foul. Adrian will have a play. So Sanchez fouls out. Nice play by Adrian Gonzalez.
Catcher, number 55.
The batter now is Russell Martin. Martin might be 0 for 2, but what a job he has done behind the plate. It would be a lot more than 1-0, except all of the saves, the short hop blocks that Russell has turned in tonight. No one would appreciate it more than A.J. Ellis. Ronald Belisario is up in the Dodger bullpen. Change just floated. Kershaw is due to lead off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-1. 2-1. Pedro Alvarez, the left-hand hitting third baseman, out on deck hitting behind Martin. 2-1 to Russell. Time. Martin 0 for 2 tonight. He is 0 for 14. Time. He wasn't ready. And the fastball missed. Pitch count up to 92. This early in the year, it's very important. He made 94 pitches in his 9 innings against the Giants. Hard foul. 2-1 to count to Russell Martin. The 94 got him a 9-inning win. 94. He's battling Russell Martin. And since he's due up in the bottom of the 7th, you have to believe they might be thinking of hitting for him. Yep. That was a little bit of a tired pitch. A 2-out walk. And that is his first walk tonight. So immediately Money cuts on the phone. What's Belisario doing? And Rick is going to go out there. Paco Rodriguez also gets up down there. So let's see. They will check with Kershaw to make sure there's still a little gas in the tank. 94 pitches opening day. But 94 pitches has gotten him only into the 7th inning tonight. So being left-handed, he has a shot at Alvarez, who has struck out twice. One to nothing Dodgers. Been that way since the 3rd inning, and we're now in the 7th. Big bouncer foul ball. 0-1 to count. By the way, over in the third base coaching box is Nick Leyva, the coach for Pittsburgh. Nick was saying before the game his mom has been going to games at Dodger Stadium for 19 years without missing one, and she missed tonight, not feeling 100%. Ball 3. So we're happy to send along Nick's best wishes to his mom. Maybe she'll be out here tomorrow. Two and 1 to Alvarez. Strike. 2-2. A.J. Burnett made 108 pitches before they took him out. 2-1 to count to Alvarez. And oh, they've got him picked off. Gonzalez running and tags him out, and that's that. So for the Bucks, they had a bad base running play in the first inning with Marte, and an embarrassment with Martin being picked off here. And at the end of 6.5, it's still 1-0 Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw putting on his helmet, thinking that he's going to be allowed to bat, and they will break the news to him. No, son, you have done your job. Though Mattingly talking to him, and after all, it's only his second outing. He's disappointed, but he'd already made enough pitches, and Skip Schumacher will lead off for him in the bottom of the 7th inning. And of course, in a 1-0 game, among other reasons, he doesn't want to come out. He doesn't want somebody else to give up a run and ruin his work. All the good ones feel that way. And the Dodgers talking to him, hey, you did a great job. Now it's up to the others. So Schumacher will start it off for the Dodgers after Rick Honeycutt talking to his man. Mark Melanson is the new pitcher, a right-hander facing Schumacher. And a strike. Melanson is from Wheat Ridge, Colorado, and he lives in Golden, Colorado, but he went to school at the University of Arizona and was originally signed by the Yankees. He's an over-the-top pitcher. No swing, 1 ball, 1 strike. Melanson kind of scared baseball people for something that he did during his freshman year. Big chopper at third. Alvarez is on it. That'll do it for Schumacher. 1 away. With 1 out, Carl Crawford coming up. Crawford, his speed has been the difference tonight. He walked and stole second in the 1st inning. And then the big play, he stole second for his 2nd steal of the night, and then Mark Ellis singled him in. And that's the only run of the game. And ball 1. We were talking about Melanson. As a freshman, he was skydiving and sprained his left ankle when he was at school at the University of Arizona. The bunt foul. Then when in the summer of 2005, Melanson was in Japan. He was going to play in the Friendship Series as a member of Team USA, and he hopped on a 3-wheel ground screw vehicle and took it for a joyride around the Osaka Dome. Well, the scouts figure we got a little bit of a wild one here, but he's been brought in a tough game. 1-0 Dodgers in the 7th. He had Tommy John surgery just before the 2006 season. Went back and got his degree. Foul back. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits for the Pirates. The only Dodger run, a Crawford single, a stolen base, and a base hit by Mark Ellis. And that's poked into left field, and Crawford a base hit. So Crawford goes 2 for 3. He already has 2 stolen bases, and the batter will be Mark Ellis. Pitch away and low, and he just went after it and banjoed it into left field. So 1 away, and the batter Mark Ellis, and of course Kershaw sitting shoulder to shoulder with A.J. Ellis, talking over their game, how they dealt with the various hitters. They did a terrific job. And that's going to flare into right field. Base hit. Crawford will stop at second as the throw comes back in from Tabata. So the Dodgers with 1 out have back-to-back singles by Melanson. And Matt Kemp coming up in a restless Twin Holder.
27, Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp against A.J. Burnett was just not in the game. Burnett struck him out all 3 times. Meanwhile, down in the Dodger bullpen, Kenley Jansen and Paco Rodriguez. And of course, again, the Dodgers, for the umpteenth time in 5 games, have yet another runner in scoring position. And let's see what Hurdle has in mind. The left-hander Tony Watson might be getting ready to pitch to Adrian Gonzalez, but they've got to get by Kemp first. So Ray Searage, the pitching coach. Ray pitched for the Dodgers 1989 and 90. He was in 40-some-odd games. So Ray talking to young Mark Melanson. So Ray coming back to the dugout. Matt Kemp waiting. A.J. Burnett was terrific. Then Hughes got him out of a scrape in the 6th inning. And now Melanson is in trouble. First and second, 1 out, and here's Matt. Ground ball to short. The shovel for 1. They will turn it for 2. And the Dodgers just have no idea of how to pick up a runner from scoring position. The drought continues, but they're still leading 1-0. The Dodgers make 2 changes. Skip Schumacher, who batted for Clayton Kershaw, stays in the game to play left field. And the left-hander Paco Rodriguez comes out of the Dodger bullpen to pick up. So Rodriguez in Crawford's leadoff spot as the Dodgers blow yet another opportunity. But again, half of it Dodger weak hitting, maybe half of it tough opposing pitching. You be the choice, you make the decision. It is one tough game. 1 run, 7 hits for the Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits for the Pirates. And now the offensive force of Carl Crawford has been lifted. He had been on base 3 times, 2 stolen bases, 2 hits, and a run scored. Pedro Alvarez, left-hand batter, will lead it off. Then it'll be Tabata and Barman. 8th inning, 1-0 Dodgers. Pedro struck out twice, so he's delighted that Kershaw's out of the game, but he gets another left-hander. And almost got hit by that pitch. Ball 1. 1-0. Little roller foul. 39,446 taken in the game tonight. If you can, hope you'll spend tomorrow with us. Ryu against Locke. 1-1 to Alvarez. One and two. Breaking ball, and it breaks late. That's what makes it so tough. That was quite a pitch. Alvarez taking a good long walk away in a practice swing. Look at this. There and then down there. And he just did get a piece of it. That was one heck of a pitch. 1-2. And another one. So one good one followed by another. And for Alvarez, tough night for him. Pedro strikes out 3 times. Say a reminder, Saturday, April 27th at 6:10, Dodgers and Milwaukee Brewers. And the first 40,000 fans in attendance take home their own Dodger sports bag, compliments of United Airlines. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. And what happened on that pitch? The Dodgers huddled around Paco. Mattingly going out to sea. And apparently nothing. They just wanted him to face the left-hander. The way they gathered, we thought he might have hurt himself. And now, here comes Kenley, and we'll be back.
Gangnam Style.
About this world of baseball. We talked about Pedro Alvarez a little earlier. The fact that he's a first-round pick by the Pirates, and they've expected him to do a lot of good things. And Pedro last year for the Bucks did well. He had 30 home runs. However, he has one really big problem. The left-handers are eating him alive. So Paco Rodriguez struck him out on 5 pitches, and it means that Alvarez has now struck out 127 times in 299 at-bats against left-handers. He might not be starting against left-handers. Garrett Jones is now coming up. Garrett, left-hand hitting first baseman, and in yesterday's game singled, went 1 for 3, lost an extra base hit on a fine play by Justin Sellers. So Jones batting for Tabata against Kenley Jansen. A little late on that first pitch. Of course, that's the problem, and the Dodgers and the Pirates at least have the remedy now. They have those great hitting areas on either side underneath the stand. 0-1 to Garrett. Pulled foul. That turns Rick Sofield around in the first base coaching box. Garrett Jones is a man to be careful with. When he was called up in 2009, he hit 7 home runs in his first 12 games. Last year he hit 27 home runs for the Pirates. 1-2. Garrett's from Illinois. Originally signed by the Braves, and he's been with the Pirates since 2009. Spent about 7 years in the minors before he finally got up. 1-2 to Garrett Jones. Popped up, and I mean up. It will be the third baseman, Luis Cruz. So Jansen gets an out.
Shortstop number 12, Clint Barnes.
Clint Barnes flied to left and struck out. Kershaw struck out 9. Paco Rodriguez picked up 1 for 10 strikeouts. A.J. Burnett struck out 9 in his battle with Kershaw. And ball 1. Travis Snyder, another left-hand batter, comes out on deck. He would hit for Mellencamp. One and 1. 39,446, sitting in on quite a pitching duel between A.J. Burnett and Clayton Kershaw. There's been Kershaw, Rodriguez, and now Kenley. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-2. 2 down here in the 8th inning. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom half, they'll have Gonzalez, Ethier, and A.J. Ellis. Tried to snap a fastball, but couldn't hit the spot. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bases empty. Dodgers clinging to a 1-0 lead. Tough night for both managers. Each manager had a great performance by his starting pitcher. 2-2. Fouled away. Barnes hanging in there. Clint Hurdle, who had Clint in Colorado, knows all about Barnes. They came up to the Rockies in 2003, and Clint was there for 8 years. him. Up around the shoulders, 90 miles an hour. Barnes strikes out. Down go the Bucks. And at the end of 7.5, 1-0 Dodgers. And that's basically it. 1-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 8th. A reminder, MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years. Join the millions of fans and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. So visit MLB.TV today. Baseball everywhere. Out in right field, Garrett Jones, having appeared as a pinch hitter and popped up, stays in the game. And he comes in with Tony Watson, a left-hander out of Sioux City, Iowa, and the University of Nebraska. On the outside corner to Adrian for a strike. Gonzalez struck out, walked, and singled. Pirates load up the right side, and that's going to be lined into right center for a base hit and go to the wall. So Adrian on his way for 2 with a stand-up double. And once again, the Dodgers are faced with the question, just how many times are you going to fail to pick up a runner in scoring position? So Adrian unloads, double to right center. That gives him a walk, single, and a double tonight. Hit number 1 against Watson and hit number 8 for the Dodgers. The batter is Ethier, grounded out, single to right, and walk. Ball 1. Barnes way overshifted to his left. He has not crossed over the bag, but what he's doing is he's trying to hold Adrian Gonzalez at second. Nobody out. 8th inning, 1-0 Dodgers. Fly ball. Gonzalez will not tag. He'll just watch the catch by McCutchen. So Ethier fails to advance him. One away. And the batter is A.J. Ellis. A.J. grounded to third, hit into a double play, single to left. That loaded the bases in the 6th inning. And then Cruz popped up. So Tony Watson, the 4th pitcher for Pittsburgh. He's a big boy, 6'4", 215. Basically fastball, slider, and a change. He is, as they say, an extreme fly ball pitcher, and that's exactly what we saw with Ethier. Right. 0-1. You don't usually hear those words together. Extremely fly ball pitcher, but that's his reputation. Oh, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count. To look ahead for the Pirates. They'll get to the top of their order before they're finished in the 9th inning. 0-2. Ball 1. Down in the Dodger bullpen, getting ready to close, Brandon Lee. Meanwhile, Kenley Jansen, deep in thought. 1-2. Just inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Watson, born in Sioux City, lives in Grimes, Iowa. At one time tore his labrum before he got to Nebraska. He's just missing that inside corner. So he goes 3-2. On deck, Luis Cruz. And every time he tried to hit that same spot, and he missed 3 in a row. So A.J. Ellis walks, and Hurdle watching as Luis Cruz comes up.
47, Luis Cruz.
Luis Cruz flied to center in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 4th inning, and popped up with the bases loaded in the 6th. So like all of the Dodgers, except, well, without Carl Crawford, with most of the others really struggling. So 2 on, 1 out, and Cruz checking in. Oh, and 1. On deck, Justin Sellers. When Watson was growing up in Iowa, he was the top high school pitching prospect. He won the Bob Feller Award. That goes annually to the top scholastic pitcher in Iowa after he threw 3 no-hitters. His earned run average was 0.10. That's a strike. That's what he was trying to do with A.J. Ellis, but he couldn't hit that corner. Take a look at this. See where Martin is, and he got it right in there. So a great pitch by Tony Watson. 2 out. And here's Justin Sellers. Sellers flied to center, struck out in the 5th inning, and hit into a force play to end the 6th with men on base. Gonzalez at second, tough man to score on a single. One ball, no strikes. Broken bat, foul ball. Ball almost got a little bit of Tim Wallach, and the bat lands short at third base. And you can see Wallach with his back to the hitter, and you can see the bat. Tim, of course, just turns his back on home plate to keep an eye on the runner at second base. But boy, that's tough, especially with a right-hand batter. I still wish it was good to wear helmets, but that's not enough. They should have the earpiece covered like the players. All right, 1-1 the count to Justin Sellers. Gonzalez at second, A.J. Ellis at first with 2 out. One and two. That foul ball might have gotten a little bit of Jerry Davis. Jerry's had 29 years in the big leagues. Russell Martin is going to give Jerry a chance to heal his wound. That's all part of the courtesy. Sometimes when he's hollering, okay, let's go. One and two to Justin Sellers. 2 on, 2 out. 1-0 Dodgers. Bottom of the 8th inning. All I owe, Iowa. That was the song. And here's Tony Watson trying to bail out the Bucks. And did that hit him? No, he just did get out of the way of it. Skip Schumacher is on deck. All right, the deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. 1-0 Dodgers. And the battle continued. Two and two. Fouled away. For Tony Watson coming into the game, he had worked an inning and a third, and he did have 1 strikeout. He got his second strikeout nailing Cruz with that great pitch, and he has 2 strikes on Sellers. He doesn't want to go 3 and 2. 3 and 2 helps Adrian Gonzalez score on a base hit. Got him. So the Dodgers lead to another dead soldier in scoring position, and at the end of 8, it's the Dodgers 1 and the Pirates nothing. is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. And by 76. We're on the driver's side. Dodgers scored a run in the third inning, and that's been it, along with some great pitching, especially from the starters, Clayton Kershaw and A.J. Burnett. Now, since the sixth inning, it's been in the hands of the relievers, the Dodgers using Rodriguez, Jansen, and now Brandon League. The Bucks using Hughes along with Melanson and Watson. So Brandon will be facing Travis Snyder, left-hand hitting outfielder. He's batting for Watson. 1 ball and no strikes. Snyder out of Kirkland, Washington. Well put together, an even 6, 235 pounds. And a high fly ball down the line. A trio of Dodgers in pursuit. And it's going to be picked off by Schumacher. Nice play by Skip. He had to go a long way considering it was a left-handed batter. So Schumacher, who got into the game to relieve Carl Crawford, makes a wonderful play. 1 down. And the batter will be Marte. So Skip gets his man. Starling Marte singled to center in the first inning. But in a tough game like this, he was involved in a killer play. He had been advanced to second by a bunt, so he was at second with 1 out. McCutchen hit a ground ball to short, and Marte violated the rule. The ball hit ahead of him, tried to go to third, and was easily tagged out. Well, it's 1-0. That was a huge play way back in the first inning. Since then, he has struck out and singled up the middle. It was a fine try by Mark Ellis, but Marte can fly. For the Bucks, they've lost 7 straight at Dodger Stadium. They've lost 2 straight this year. That's in there. The numbers for Clint Hurdle are hard to bear. They've lost 7 straight here, 15 out of 17 here, 21 out of 25 here. Another strike. 2-2. On deck, Neil Walker, a switch hitter, and he'll turn around to bat left-handed. Two and two. Nice save. 3-2 the count. One nothing Dodgers. 1 out, top of the 9th. Fouled away. Clayton Kershaw, among other things tonight, struck out 9 at one stretch, retired 17 in a row. A.J. Burnett struck out 9. So it's been baseball's answer to push against shove. 3-2. Ground ball to short. Sellers. So Marte taps to short. 2 down in the 9th inning. And the batter is Neil Walker. Neil Walker sacrificed it back to the box and fly to center. Neil has some sock. He had 14 home runs last year. He doesn't usually swing at the first pitch. Last year he had 22 infield hits. And ball 1. Neil, born to play for the Pirates, I guess. He was born in Pittsburgh, lives in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, and he was a first-round pick by the Pirates. 1 ball and no strikes. Ground foul. Meanwhile, meeting in the dugout, comparing swings and pitches and everything else as Marte listened. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Neil Walker. Walker remembers going to the 1994 All-Star game at old Three Rivers Stadium. He was 9 years old in Pittsburgh. He went and he saw and he dreamed, and here he is. Slider just missed. 2-1. One run, 8 hits for the Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits for the Pirates. Both hits by Marte. 3-1. Now remember, their number 1 guy is on deck, Andrew McCutchen. A 3-ball count. The Pirates have worked 16 of them in the series, but 13 of them have been retired. But not this time. And there's ball 4 to Neil Walker. So Andrew McCutchen coming up, and we'll look in the books and see how he has fared against Brandon Lee. McCutchen, 1 at bat, and he walked. Neil Walker at first. 2 out, 9th inning. And a little roll to Mark Ellis, and that's that. So Andrew McCutchen grounds out. The Dodgers win a tough one. 1 run, 8 hits, and no errors. For the Pirates, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. The winning pitcher is Clayton Kershaw. The loser is A.J. Burnett. Russell Martin had a fine defensive game, but Martin is still looking for a base hit. He went 0 for 2 tonight. Brandon Lee made 15 pitches to get the job done. And a reminder, tomorrow at 1:10, Hyun-Jin Ryu will be on the mound for the Dodgers. Jeff Locke will be on the mound for the Bucks. You want to hear those sad numbers for Pittsburgh? They've now lost 8 straight at Dodger Stadium, 16 of 18, and 22 of 26. Wow. So they have 1 shot, and that'll be tomorrow with Jeff Locke going to the mound. So the Dodgers win the kind of a game they have to win. A battle, a tough one, and they edge the Bucks 1-0. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.